Ready, right, it should lag now. Hi, I'm Fish of the Justice League. This is my tips video for Snakewater, one of my favourite maps in TF2 at the moment. I really enjoy playing it. I really love Snake as medic. So quickly going to run through the map, a couple of pointers on each point, defending, attacking, things like that. So starting off with the heal order, obviously as always first take off your demo man, heal your demo to full, he'll jump from here over to there. Then try and buff one of your soldiers to 300 before they rocket. Quickly pick up your two scouts here, pick up your other soldier who you didn't buff first, healing him all the way to here. Soldier with a first buff can pick up this med pack, and then when you get to here I tend to split my two soldiers. Sometimes they go in the same way, sometimes they split. More often than not we tend to split them. One soldier goes up top left, one soldier goes top right. The soldier going right side should be the one that is already buffed to 300. Picking up the soldier here who wasn't at 300 should get to about 250 by the time he gets to the midpoint. Then how you want to set your mid up is as medic I come up through this way, demo man down there, I tend to drop down to my demo man, obviously heal up my demo man. I have one scout who will stand when I can actually get up there. One scout will be standing up here, one scout will be standing up in this area with the other soldier coming up here, the other soldier coming up here, and that creates a basic platform for whatever you want to do at mid. So what you want to do then is create in the next part of the middle. So your demo man here is going to be spamming across at their team as much as possible. He might want to support the two soldiers either side by spamming up top as well, but mainly he wants to concentrate on spamming down there where their team are. And the key to this mid is if they're weak, jump your two soldiers onto them. Obviously, jump your soldiers onto them. If they're weak, they should get a couple of picks. Move your demo man onto the point. The scout that is up here kind of acts like a pocket scout. He should pick up your med and demo and try and protect them from jumping soldiers. So if a soldier jumps over, try to pick up, obviously shoot him, drop down to your med demo, try to protect them. And when you're moving across the point, just kind of cover the two flanks, making sure you're watching the two kitchen sides. That's pretty much the midpoint in a nutshell. I find that Snake works a little bit better if you play it more aggressively on the midpoint rather than just sitting back. But there is variations to that mid. I'm not going to go through every one. I'm just giving a basic outlay to how to play Snake mids. So holding on to CP3, if you was holding CP3, teams probably wouldn't tend to push you if they don't have an Uber advantage. Again, it's one of those maps which are quite hard to push without an Uber advantage, or at least they're your demo man down. So if you've got even Ubers, just tend to stand in this area while you decide where you want to go. Demo can stick you there. From this area you can see the kitchen anyway, so the kitchen is pretty much covered. You want to have scouts floating around the window room, making sure that this top area here is covered. Making sure no one get through the window into this area, and basically just get your Uber, decide where you're going to go with it and go. If you're defending Uber against non-Uber, you probably want to make one soldier go around this top area here, somewhere around here, to try and make them pop. You might want to get some demo man stickies on this door, maybe in this area, on the crates. And as a medic, you want to kind of stand back here with your pocket soldier. Your pocket soldier can stand up there, or just stand in front of you. You want to keep building, and the aim is, with most points in TF2, is to make them Uber through down there, and to get your medic out without him dying. And then you should be in a better place to actually push back in on CP3, or if you're not far off order Uber, go in and try and hold the point. So defending without Uber is quite a defensive hold with your medic right back there. Your roam soldier is going to be up here, your two scouts floating. Obviously there's options for a back cap. A couple of places where the scouts can go, mainly around the window room. They could hide in the kitchen. Just be careful of the kitchen. If you've all pushed there, scouts could be down in this area here, just hiding, waiting to go for your back cap. That pretty much is CP3 covered for defending. So pushing into CP3, as I said, don't push into CP3 unless you've got an Uber advantage, or perhaps you pick their demo man. Without their demo man, you've got no dangerous stickies. So pushing into CP3, you've got a couple of options to push from, left or right. So if you're going to push left, it's just a case of getting through this doorway, sending one scout through the kitchen to check that everything there's safe, sending soldier demo through the doorway, quickly check above and all around. You want to try and prevent your medic from popping. You want to try and get onto this point. If you get to this point without using the Uber, all you need to do then is just stack point, get cap. You can spam back. Most teams are going to fall out down into that area there. Some might fall out into there, but demo can throw a few stickies and pipe spam there, so it's really hard to come back in and defend. Then you just want to get quick cap really. If you have to use Uber, just use the Uber to bully them back and outwards, get the cap point, and then obviously switch into a defensive hold of 3. So if you wanted to push the right side, a couple of options pushing the right side. Be careful of stickies coming through this door, stickies on the pole. You could either go up top, launch the soldiers across at them, and as a medic jump round with a demo man pushing on. It's a little bit dangerous. Your 2 scouts need to push from the left side, 1 from there, 1 from the kitchen to check again. One of the soldiers should push from here, just to make sure. The other way is to push from right side and go just far right. If the demo man's up, Uber advantage, you're going to have to Uber through this door because it's probably going to have stickies somewhere around this area unless your soldier can get out and spot for this area here. Then just get out, and again, same principle applies. Push them back off the point, get cap. If medic hasn't died, it's Uber disadvantage, hold into your Uber disadvantage, hold on 3, and just work from there. So moving on to CP2 now. So pushing onto CP2 with an Uber advantage. I think the key to pushing with an Uber advantage is just to go with it. You can't obviously hold on to an Uber advantage. You just need to move very quickly on the number. It's quite dangerous. Obviously, pushing from this bit here. If they've got a sniper holding up the top there's a chance you're going to get popped as a medic. So you need to be very aware if there is a sniper, you might want to jump something onto him. But as here, you can just jump your soldier on top of the hut. Your demo man can walk up the ramp. You can just bully them backwards with the Uber advantage. If you do have Uber advantage, probably a little bit better to push from the left sides, because what you can do then is coming in from the left side, just check again for everywhere for stickies. You can jump a soldier up into here to come around into the lobby to kind of sandwich their team in. And then with your demo man and medic, you just want to come around this side of the train, Uber onto them, and just sandwich them into one little area. So if they're holding up here, you're just going to have your soldier there spamming them back. And all you want to do is take your medic, bring your scouts in from the grass area over here, scouts onto the cap to cap it. So pushing CP2 with an Uber versus Uber. You can obviously try to get your roam soldier to go in, maybe make the medic pop. But you can also, again, just push grass and use the phrase that we use, which is just bully them backwards. So moving from grass, just keep putting damage out, just bully the team back. If they pop their Uber, just pop back at them. And it's kind of about forcing them to use their Uber to defend this point. So if they use this Uber, you can Uber back at them and see where it leaves you. Again, if you've got the Uber out of them and it doesn't look good, just decide to pull your team back and just start again. You can also push on the left side. If you're going to do it Uber versus Uber, take 2 soldiers and your demo man this time. Jump your 2 soldiers up to there. Take your demo man, maybe long range stickies. Take your 2 soldiers up into there, and then you're kind of your 2 soldiers can probably make them pop if they can come onto them. Your demo and medic can probably walk to this area here, still spam from here. When the Ubers are exchanged, hopefully it'll leave you with a slight advantage in numbers. Bring your scouts in from grass. Your scouts can come up onto the cap. And what you're creating, if your scouts come in from grass when the Ubers are exchanged, scouts are starting to cap. You've got a demo medic here. You've got 2 soldiers there. You've got 3 things for the other team to think about. So they either need to take 2 soldiers, take your medic demo, or defend the point. So if they try and defend the point, just bring all your team back around from here, spam onto them, try to wipe them out, and see how that leaves it. So defending CP2, defending it against an Uber disadvantage, I tend to hold up in this area. I'll have a soldier holding up over here. Demo man stickies is kind of where the demo man chooses. Demo can sticky there, he can sticky the grass area. Again, it's demo man's prerogative to where he stickies if it's an Uber disadvantage. So you just want to hold up here, and all we want them to do is use their Uber and fall back and see what position it leaves you in. The dangers defending CP2, like I said, is if people come in from the right side lobby. So sometimes as a medic, I'll be holding inside here, healing soldier here, healing a soldier here. Demo man can stand here and spam. You can run a sniper at this point if you want. A sniper's quite handy for the sight lines to obviously try and shoot. Be careful of them running a sniper if it's called as a medic. Just stand in this general area here, try and defend, and as soon as they've Ubered, pull your team back. You've either lost the CP, or if you're close enough to an Uber back onto them, try and defend the CP. See where that leaves you. Uber versus Uber, I prefer to hold a little bit closer, so I'll probably have a soldier standing up there or up there. I'll have a scout floating around this right side as well. I'll have my pocket soldier around this hut area. I'll have demo man kind of on the train, not too far away. As a medic, I tend to float around this general area here. I'm quite protected from snipers. I'm quite protected from most angles. Then the other scout's kind of a free class just to float around. And again, If you're defending Uber against Uber, it's a case of making them Uber onto you, Ubering back, pushing them back off the point. If you've got enough picks, you can roll it on, push into CP3. Otherwise, just build up again, defend again with Uber, and it's be quite patient with Snake. You know, they might fail a few Ubers, and then all of a sudden you've picked off 4 kills in the last Uber exchange, and that's when you want to push. You really want to pick your moments with Snakewater. It's not so much a map where one person can go in and go absolutely huge. It's more of a map which is a tactical play. That's why I kind of really enjoy Snake. That pretty much covers CP2, defending and holding CP2 and pushing CP2. So now we're going to move on to defending and holding last. So going to quickly run through defending last. I never defend this lobby. This lobby is a little bit too hard to defend. There's far too many entrances into lobby to hold it comfortably. You might want to hold here if your demo man's got some forward stickies, but otherwise I'd pretty much be holding last. If you're an Uber disadvantage, you kind of will probably want to run a pyro, maybe a sniper, whatever class will benefit you a little bit more. Don't run 2 scouts. Do think about running a heavy. A heavy's really good on Snakewater last. You're going to want to have a soldier standing up on top of this hut, if I can get up there. Oh, there's a soldier up on top of that hut. You can get up there as a scout, but obviously I can't jump because I'm useless. So soldier holding up there. You have sniper maybe watching right side. Most snipers like to peek from here or down from the pit. You can have your pocket soldier over here with the medic building up Uber. As a medic you can stand this area. This area, if you're using the box to defend you from the sniper, then you're safe from the pit. The only danger is left door. Demo man sticky in left doors. If a demo man wants to swap it over and sticky right, just move your soldier up there over to the left. So you've got 2 soldiers on the left and extra protection. Then if you run a heavy, have them on top of the point. If they Uber in, you're an Uber disadvantage, try and keep your heavy buff to 450 as much as possible. Try and get him the lion's share of the heals. Hopefully you can stay alive long enough for their Uber to run out. Then you can obviously attack back at them, hopefully wipe off a few players and it'll leave you in a good position. So holding last of an Uber, Uber versus Uber, is pretty much a very similar hold that I'll do as well. I probably might drop a heavy for a scout. Maybe drop my pocket to heavy, depending on how we're doing, depending on how the game's going. Pocket soldier moving to heavy is not a bad idea if you've already got the Uber. If not, your roam soldier can move from over there and just come here. You just need to make sure scout and then the other scout or sniper or whatever it's running is watching the right sides, and then just sort of hold it from there. Small few tips is obviously be very careful of a sniper at last and be very careful of a spy. Spy is quite common on Snake class, so be very careful of watching behind you. As a medic, keep moving around, but just be very careful of these sight lines. Be very aware of the sniper there. Just be aware of the players around you. Don't be afraid to just Uber back at them when they've used Uber. Keep as much of your team alive as possible. If you wanted to push out from last onto CP2, I'll quickly cover that before I run on to pushing last. So if you want to push out, you need to have quite a lot of picks before you can push out. It's either a really big Uber advantage or you've pretty much wiped their team or there are only a couple out. So you might want to, if you're running a heavy, just leave the heavy at last, and everyone needs to take an entrance. So you might want to run your demo medic from here, your soldier from there, your scouts from pit. And the tip is just to get out there, move your demo medic out there, or move your demo medic over to here. Make sure the right side's sticky so they can't get in from here. And just get your 2 scouts onto the point. You need to get quick cap onto here. It's quite easy to come back in on this point and hold it if you're trying to push. So the key to pushing is have a really good amount of picks, perhaps 4 down, perhaps a big Uber advantage, something to move out on, something big to move out on. Pushing out into CP2, you just need to get that quick cap. Then after that, move into your CP2 hold, whether it's with a Uber advantage or an Uber versus Uber or Uber disadvantage. So quickly running on to pushing last. Another quick thing about last is you can run an engineer, obviously an SG floating around this area, maybe over here. An SG is quite handy. It is quite frustrating to play against an SG. It does work, but it is quite simply countered. So pushing last. Snake last can be a little bit tricky to push sometimes, so if it's starting to work, it's starting to get a little bit stale, perhaps run a heavy, run a sniper, perhaps even run Kritzkrieg. If you're going to run Kritzkrieg, try a long range crit stickies from here, or perhaps crits from the pit. and all you want someone to do is to spot, so a couple of crit stickies from up here or over from the left sides. Then you just want to get that first crit sticky onto the medic to give you the big enough advantage. If you was to get that first crit sticky on the medic, try and throw another few crit stickies onto the point and just use the rest of your 4 team to come in from pit or the right side. Just jump onto this point. The crit sticky should hopefully do enough damage, and obviously the follow-up damage is there, so perhaps you can get that cap. If you're running an Uber versus Uber, it is quite tricky, and you need to be careful you don't sort of overextend onto the point. You might try to move down the left side without using Uber. There's an awful lot of places where stickies can be, so you can try and move down the left side, perhaps getting 2 soldiers on top of this hut. Demo man spamming from here, trying to spam down at them. But I'd imagine by the time you get there, you probably would have popped Uber, purely because it's a bit harder to try and get down that flank. So you can come in for the right side, demo soldier. Usually this door is sticky, so you're going to have to Uber through the door. You want to going to try and make the medic pop, and then probably fall back, see where it leaves you. See if you can get a bigger advantage. It is very tricky to push this map. It's not like you can jump people onto the point and just cap it. It is quite tricky to push Snake. So if you had an Uber advantage, you've got 2 options. Uber advantage usually means you should be able to cap Snake last. That's what you're trying to get out of it, is an Uber advantage somewhere down the line. So you could either use a demo man soldier straight from the right side, straight onto their medic. You need to kill their medic. If their medic was to move and spawn, ignore him. Start to spam what's on the point. They've got no heals now. Start to bully him back into this left corner. At that point, your team need to come in, move on to the cap. The other option is actually 2 Uber scouts. Make sure that you do this just right. So Uber 1 scout through the door, be careful of stickies. Uber the other scouts so they don't die. The demo man's probably going to blow his stickies and either fire the first scout, he's going to fire you a million miles away, so it becomes a little bit trickier there. Your scouts basically want to pop their medic, kill their medic rather, as quick as possible. Otherwise, your 1 scout can move on to the point and 1 scout can move above the point and push their team into the left corner. When their team starts to get trapped here, you can bring the rest of your heavy classes in from the left side and kind of all meet them in this area here. Your scouts can obviously jump on, start to cap. Your demo or soldiers could even spam from over in that direction up there. So they could spam from up there onto the point. So 2 Uber scouts is a really nice Uber when you practice it and perfect it. 2 Uber scouts straight through the right, pick up the medic kill, try and take the next kill, which is ideally the demo man, or if they're running a heavy, take the heavy. Talk to the rest of your team, bring them in at the right time. You can even jump 2 scouts to the point while the distraction's going on. Just spam down at the point and hopefully you'll get the cap. That pretty much is Snakewater. It can sometimes be a little bit of a slow map. It's a little bit similar to Granary in that regard, that it can be a little bit more tactical, but it can also be quite a fast map. If you wipe a team at mid, it's quite easy to roll forward to last and cap that last point. I really do love Snake. It's a really nice map. It's probably it is my favourite map in TF2 at the moment. I hope this tip video has been helpful. You can find me as always in the IRC channel, #tf2.mentor. You can find me on my Steam group, Fish's TF2 Tips, linked in the ETF2 webpage. Obviously, I'll be doing next week's map ASAP to try and get that uploaded. Keep watching out for our next videos, which should be a couple more tips videos on call-in, a few more medic tips, hopefully some other tips coming up if people give me a few ideas. I've been Fish. Thanks to Brain again for streaming. Cheers, guys.